A very, very warm welcome to you and our special guest today, George Lizos. Welcome, welcome. George Lizos is the award-winning #1 best-selling author of Protect Your Light, Lightworkers Gotta Work, and Secrets of Greek Mysticism, creator of Intuition Mastery School and host of Can't Host and the Lit Up Lightworker podcast. Welcome, George. It's wonderful to have you with us today.
Hi, Lara. Thank you so much for having me. It's lovely to be here.
And we're so excited because George has just written another book that we're going to be talking about today. I have to say, I invited George to come and join me in this conversation because I was completely blown away by the wisdom, the information that this man has. And I wanted him to come in and talk about manifestation and the really pragmatic, grounded, practical ways that we can use manifestation to support you. Thought it'd be a great addition to this podcast, a great addition to the money manifestation mastery work. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to talk about money and manifestation and like manifestation in general. It's one of my
Yeah,
favorite topics to talk about.
amazing. Yeah, mine too. So can you tell us a little bit about a bit about your journey, like what got you here to just have so much incredible wisdom and information around manifestation? Can you tell us a little bit about what got you
Yeah.
to this point?
Yeah, I'm going to take you way back to when I was 15 years old. That's when my spiritual journey started, growing up in Cyprus, like a Mediterranean island, very small community. And as it happens with many small communities, they tend to be very judgmental. They expect you to be a certain way. You cannot be too different. And there was me communicating with spirits and angels and talking to nature and asking life's big questions, and also realizing at a very young age that I was gay in a society where homosexuality at the time while growing up was illegal. And therefore, I couldn't be myself. So from a young age, I had this sense of I had to change myself to fit into what other people expected me to be. So when I realized I was gay at the age of 13, I basically tried to change myself. For 2 years, I couldn't accept the fact that I was different. So when I couldn't change who I was born to be, I decided to just end my life. And in a very depressive low point in my life, I was ready to put an end to it. I had written a letter to my parents. I had a bunch of pills in my hand, and I was ready to just kill myself. And that's when I had the epiphany. That's when I had this realization that, you know what, I can just learn to love and accept myself no matter what, and just fuck what people think and society and the church, and just learn to prioritize me. And that's when my spiritual journey started, where I didn't know how to love myself because all I experienced was bullying and self-bullying and loathing. So I was willing, though, for the universe to teach me how to heal and how to love myself. And as it goes, when you show up for you, the universe shows up for you. So I was led to a series of spiritual modalities and books and techniques, including manifestation, that allowed me to positively, to gradually create positive changes in my life, to heal my past, to forgive my bullies, to forgive myself, and also to learn to manifest the life that I wanted for myself. And years later, I realized, okay, I've amassed all this information right now. I've learned to change myself and heal myself. What do I do with this information? Let me put them into a book. And that's when my first book, Be the Guru, came out. And then from then on, I started building a career and following this path of gathering the tools that have helped me and teaching them to other people to help them do the same. And this is what I aim to do with all my books. And with this new book, The Ancient Manifestation Secrets, it's all about working with the ancient universal laws of the universe to manifest our life and our purpose.
Amazing. Well, how moving hearing this story. And I'm sure there's many people that can relate listening to you and hopefully giving them, hope if anyone's struggling out there. And thank you for being so brave and doing all the amazing work to bring you to this point. Do you channel the information that comes through in your writing? How does it come through? Like, how does this incredible wisdom come through to you?
Now, this book was more channeled than the previous ones in the sense that I booked myself on a 10-day trip to Delphi in Greece. And I was in Delphi, like in a little cottage overseeing the Parnassus Mountains, and I just spent 10 days there channeling this book. However, my books in general, they are a balance between research, practice, experience, and also channeling. Like my previous book, Secrets of Greek Mysticism, was not channeled at all because it was based on the ancient Greek religion. So I was basing it on facts. But with this book, yes, it is based on the Hermetic laws of the universe, the 7 laws of the universe, according to the ancient Hermetics, which was like a philosophical school in the ancient times, based on the book The Kybalion, and therefore based on the ancient Greeks and Egyptians. So there's a lot of facts there, but the practices of how to apply those laws were channeled, where essentially I'm teaching people how to manifest with their energy field, and therefore working with the energy of their aura and their chakras and their desires to plant desires into our energy field and then create energetic connections and cords that allow things to manifest. So that part was channeled. And then I wrote the book 4 years ago, and then I had been practicing before that and during that, and I was amazed by the amount of results and the transformation that both me and my clients have experienced. And what I really want to share here is that because there are so many manifestation books, you have one, I have one, so many people have like so many different processes, I believe they all work. And it's just a matter of like using a system consistently so that you allow the system to work with you rather than trying to combine way too many things. And also, if you are to combine, do it smartly. Like what I'm doing is I'm teaching energetic processes to manifestation that can be combined with like vision boards, for example, and scripting and visualization. Whereas other practices, I find they counteract each other.
That's brilliant. So genius. So before we get into the 7 laws and go into a bit more detail, I want to ask you what have you noticed is where do people go wrong with manifesting, or what bugs you around the information that's out there? Because we had a conversation before that really highlighted you've got quite a special and unique approach to manifesting, which I was really moved to hear. So what are the things that kind of irk you or bug you, or that you feel is really the misinformation around manifestation that you're trying to, address maybe within your book?
Yeah. Now, the most important thing that I talk about in the book is that, and that's a misconception that people have with manifestation, is that limiting beliefs, negative thoughts, and negative emotions work against manifestation. They can work against manifestation, but if we try to deny them, to ignore them, which is what a lot of the popular manifestation talk is all about, is like, don't think negative thoughts, don't feel negative emotions, just focus on the positive. But if the negative is there and you've experienced something negative and you've been through trauma and limiting beliefs are coming up, by repressing them and ignoring them, you're only giving them more power because they want to be heard. I've always taught that all a negative emotion wants is to be heard and acknowledged, and then it loses its power. So when we give a platform to our limiting beliefs, thoughts, and emotions and process them, resolve them, hear them out, that's when they can finally release, so we can focus and truly be positive rather than be toxically positive. That's why in the book, one of my steps it's about releasing your limiting beliefs. And I teach a psychotherapy process, an eye movement process, because I'm also like a certified trauma therapist. So I work with people who have trauma and process trauma. And I teach this eye movement therapy to help them process limiting beliefs and release negative emotions rather than repress or ignore them. And the other thing is this misconception that the law of attraction is the most powerful law in the universe. Now, I used to believe that as well. In fact, my first book, Be the Guru, I say that the law of attraction is the most powerful law in the universe. I need to go back and rewrite that book because it's not more powerful than gravity. However much you try, you cannot fall upwards. You will only fall downwards because that's how gravity works. Yes, it is a powerful law, but there are other laws in the universe that work in collaboration with the law of attraction / vibration, because they're very similar laws. So what I've tried to do in the book is share more about those other laws and how they can work in combination with the law of attraction, so we can partner with the universe for manifestation. And thirdly, is another misconception is that the universe is our bitch. And all we have to do is just tell the universe, bring me this, and the universe will show up and bring it. And therefore, I see many spiritual people just saying, oh, I'm just meditating and I'm manifesting and I'm visualizing and I'm changing the vibration of the world. And I'm like, no, you are not. You're changing the vibration of your room. To change the vibration of the world, you need to get out there, take some action as well. Help the universe help you by supporting yourself, by taking action, moving forward, doing podcasts, writing books, launching businesses, whatever it is you do, take some action to add to that momentum that the universe is already putting in.
Oh, absolutely. And I have learned all of this the hard way myself. I used to meditate in my bedroom, wondering why some things weren't manifesting. And my inner guidance said, you've got to leave your bedroom, Lara, and take some action. We can only do so much here.
We've all done it. We've all done it. Me too.
So funny. So let's dive in a little bit deeper into these 7 laws, the ancient secrets to manifestation, because this is where we really start playing with something very, very special. And I know you have something very, very special in this book. And what would you like to share with us first about some of the little taster secrets of wisdom in here with us today?
So there are 7 main universal laws of manifestation mentioned in the text, the Kybalion, which is based on the ancient Hermeticism. I'm not going to talk about all the laws. I'm going to focus on one of the laws that I feel is most important. I just want to mention the laws that people are aware. So the 7 laws are the law of mentalism, the law of correspondence, the law of vibration, the law of polarity, the law of rhythm, the law of cause and effect, and the law of gender. Now, the one I want to focus on today is the law of cause and effect that says that every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. So what this law says essentially and teaches is that our manifestations are effects of a series of causes. And it's just not just one cause, it's a series of causes. And our manifestation, the effect essentially, is also a cause for another manifestation, another effect that's going to come earlier. So it's this never-ending stream of causes and effects. Now, what popular manifestation teachings teach is that the number one cause that causes an effect, the manifestation, is our vibrational frequency, how we think, how we feel, and therefore what we're attracting through the law of attraction. However, whereas that is a very important cause, the way we feel, our vibrational essence and set point, there are also other causes, little known causes that we don't take into consideration that may be interfering with our personal vibrational attraction. For example, there are karmic contracts and vows that are already in place. This is basically our soul's intentions before we were born. Maybe our soul, before we incarnated into this body, made an agreement with someone or a promise or had an intention of learning certain lessons and experiencing certain things. So that cause is already in place. We chose it, but a different part of us, the soul part of us, that our ego from this like physical body may not be aware of. And therefore we're wondering, why isn't our desire manifesting? Because maybe there is a karmic contract that's preventing it from manifesting because there is something else or something more, something better in store for us. Another little known cause is our life purpose and our soul purpose, 2 different things. Our soul purpose is our purpose that is fulfilled over a series of lifetimes. Okay, multiple lifetimes to fulfill a soul purpose. Our life purpose, it's a step towards fulfilling that purpose. And therefore, this specific purpose that we have in this lifetime that contributes to the fulfillment of that soul purpose that spans lifetimes. So if we have a very specific soul or life purpose, then we need to stick within that purpose. And if we choose desires that are aligned with that, they're easier to manifest than desires that are not in alignment with a life and soul purpose. Another little known cause is collective intentionality and collective attraction. COVID. We all manifested it. Nobody managed to not manifest being in a world where there is COVID. And therefore, there was collective manifestation here that we could not ignore. And in the same way, there are other collective manifestations happening at the same time that we're all participating. So the law of cause and effect teaches that when we are aware of these laws, of these other causes that are little known but are there, we can work with them, we can take them into consideration to make adjustments of our like manifestation practices to make them work better. Does that make sense?
Yes, it's absolutely genius, George. It's incredible. And I love the depth that you go into around manifesting. It's going to help so many people who are just so confused at why some things aren't working. It's absolutely incredible. Do you have a little tip, particularly around this area, this law, around how people can navigate through all these different causes? Like, how do you have a sort of a simple step to navigate that? How do you navigate through these different levels you've been talking about?
Well, according to the law of correspondence, okay, and the law of correspondence states that as above, so below, as below, so above. There are different planes of existence. We have the physical plane of existence where we live. We have the mental plane of existence that includes the elementals and some other like spiritual beings. And then we have the spiritual level of existence where we have the gods, goddesses, ascended masters, like different types of beings. But as above, so below, as below, so above means that we have access to all planes of existence. And therefore, we have access to wisdom from our spirit guides, to wisdom from the universe. So what I like to do is I like to create energetic cords that connect me and connect my desires to the different planes of existence and the spirit guides that live there. And therefore, by creating these energetic cords, you create energetic communication and exchange of information, telepathically or not, with those beings that know already what the karmic contracts are, that know already what our soul purpose is and our life purpose is, and therefore they can guide the process. So really the way that I work with these laws and the way that I teach in this book as to like how to manifest is by planting the orbs of our desires into our energetic field and then cording them, connecting them with different people, organizations, spiritual beings that can help us manifest that we can collaborate with one another to manifest. What Abraham Hicks teaches is that manifestation is a cooperative process. Like we collaborate with the universe. And the way that I do it is through energetic cords. So a simple process would be, if you know you have a desire, visualize and the orb of that desire being planted somewhere within your chakras or your energetic field. And by the way, the desire is intelligent. It will know where to plant itself. You don't need to like micromanage things. And then visualize energetic cords connecting you and setting the intention with spiritual beings in the mental or the spiritual planes of existence that know what these other causes are and therefore can give you the urges, the guidance, the instincts, the divine inspiration to act in certain ways at the right time to bring your desires into manifestation without opposing any of those causes.
So smart. And I love what you said, the desire knows. You don't have to like force or try or push or make it happen.
Can I say something about that? Because that's really what helped me understand this. Elizabeth Gilbert wrote a book called Big Magic. It's a great book for intuitives, but also like creatives, but also intuitives, in the sense that she talks about ideas having beingness and having consciousness, and an idea searches for a host. And I include that story in the book and that excerpt in the book. So our desires are searching for a host, and they found us. Okay, they're like, ooh, you look like the proper host to help me come into the world. Let me hang out with you. And they hang out around our energetic field. They plant themselves there. And if we see them, we can like reestablish and deepen and strengthen that bond with them. And they will stay there for as long as we give them attention. Okay, if we don't give them attention, if we don't take action towards them, if they don't nurture the energy of those desires, they'll eventually move on and they're going to find a different host. And the question I always ask people is, do you want to be a host of your desires, or do you want them to go and be hosts to other people?
Great question. What do you think stops people from really connecting, nurturing their desires, staying on track with manifesting what they want?
Yeah. Spiritual entertainment. Spiritual entertainment. We all love it. I love it. We love the bells and whistles, the aura sprays and the crystals and the meditations and the new practices, the new processes, like the next cool thing. I love them as well. However, they don't do all the work for you. That is my biggest, like my TED talk. If I could give a TED talk, it would be the universe is not your bitch. In the sense that
So good. I love it.
because I see so many spiritual people just over depending on the universe for support and just over depending on like spiritual practices. Like in the book, for example, I talk about the importance of balancing your masculine and feminine energy when it comes to manifesting, therefore taking equal amounts of action, but also resting and receiving. And the easy way out will be, oh, I'm going to do a meditation to balance my masculine and feminine energy. And then we do the meditation for 20 minutes and they're like, oh, balanced. I'm ready. I'm balanced. And I'm like, no, you're not. Because what are you doing daily in your life? What are you doing weekly? What are you doing monthly? What are you doing yearly? Are you taking action and you're taking too much action? Are you exhausting yourself and then doing your meditation and be like, oh, I'm balanced? Or are you procrastinating too much? Are you afraid to take action? Are you over depending on spiritual practices? Why don't we find a balance? And in that section of the book where I talk about that, I explain the qualities of masculine energy activities and feminine energy activities. And then I have people plan their days, weeks, months, and year in advance, not to like a very perfectionistic degree as I do it, but like have an idea of having an equal amount of masculine energy activities in your day, week, month, and year, and feminine energy activities. For example, if I know I'm launching a new course, for example, in March, I'm going to make sure to arrange a trip after that somewhere to allow myself to like completely relax, let go, and allow my energy and my body to rest. So to create that balance, because if we're constantly on the go, 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 then we don't give our body the time and the space to receive inspired guidance. And on the other hand, if we're only spending time connecting with the spirits and the angels and the universe, then we're receiving a bunch of information, but it's ungrounded and it's uncentered, and we cannot do something with it because we live outside of our bodies. So how do we find the balance between the two? I feel that is the number one issue that people have with manifestation in general.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And having been someone that has been very out of balance with both personally, I've lived that and how things don't work when they're out of balance. And so I've done that. I did a pendulum swing of like what I would call my kind of toxic masculinity, then burnt out, got sick. And then I spent a long time floating around the feminine, which was amazing, but it wasn't effective. I wasn't able to move forward. And I was like, what is going on? And then I learned exactly what you're talking about, the balance of both. And it's so interesting. And I think, yes, I know so many people that have a huge amount of information, right, on consciousness or spirituality or energy work, and they're still struggling to ground things in their physical reality, financially, in their business, in their personal life. So this is what you're saying is such powerful and useful information. I'm really grateful to you for putting it out for us to be able to read and receive, because I really think this is missing information out there. This is really important information that's going to help people really move forward in a more effective way. So thank you for all the work you've done putting into this.
Thank you.
So I'm curious to know I actually would love to know a little bit more about your gifts. So when you're like, how do you interact with the universe? Like, what are some of your gifts, your skills, your abilities that we may not know about?
Yeah. So my main like job that I do, like how I define myself, is as a psychic healer. So I scan people's auras, I identify blocks, and I guide them through like balancing them. And that's what led me to writing a book about energetic manifestation, like manifesting with the energy field, because this is how I work. I'm clairvoyant and clairsentient, so I see things and I know things when I tune into people's energy. But I want to stand a little bit on the term gift, because I feel that this term sometimes puts people off when it comes to like trusting themselves intuitively, because I was never the kind of kid who had these stories of, oh, I had like my dead grandmother is trying to communicate with me and I see spirits all the time and spirits won't let me sleep. No, I slept peacefully as a kid. I was the biggest muggle you could meet. I was not particularly gifted intuitively. I simply worked my ass off to develop my spiritual and psychic abilities. And that's why I have a course called Intuition Mastery School. I teach people who don't consider themselves to be gifted or maybe gifted as well, how to develop their psychic abilities, because I believe we're all psychic, we're all intuitive, we can all communicate with the universe. The main way that I do it, the main way that I love to do it is through automatic writing. I like to teach automatic writing because it's easy to practice. Everybody can practice it. It's basically setting the intention. I want to communicate with my spirit guides or the universe. And then you set, for example, a 3-minute or 5-minute timer on your phone. And then you ask a question and you start writing freely without stopping. The key is to not stop, to just write freely, whatever comes to mind. And that is you channeling, essentially. And it was actually developed as I'm in drama school right now, and I was doing a class on like literature, like theater literature, and they taught us about automatic writing. It was one of the movements in theater where certain play writers were like, you know what? No, I'm not going to sit and think about like creating characters. I'm going to automatically write this play. And that's how automatic writing came to be. Like it was one of those rebels in the art community who wanted to create something new. But it's also like channeling. That's what it is. It's easy. We just use complicated terms to make it sound like it's something fancy, but it's not.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And I would say similar to me that actually all these things are skills, right? We can develop. There's skills that we can learn. So I really like that you have clarified that around gifts and the ability that anyone can learn. And it's true. I think we can all do it as well. It's just about working at it, right?
Yes.
It sounds like you've worked quite hard to develop your skills and abilities.
That's why I wrote a book called Lightworkers Gotta Work.
Nice. And I would agree. I've basically worked very hard to get to where I am as well. And it's a daily practice. It's a constant body of work that I love. So thank you for clarifying that anyone can do this work, tap into this work and make it work for them. So can you tell us how, for anyone who's interested in exploring more about the 7 laws, can you tell us how we can find out more?
Yes, so Ancient Manifestation Secrets is available everywhere books are sold. But if you go to ancientmanifestationsecrets.com, when you get the book, you also get a free workshop with me. It's an hour-long workshop. It's a past life regression to retrieve manifestation skills from your past lives. So go to ancientmanifestationsecrets.com to get all the details. And you can also find me online on Instagram at George Lizos and my website, georgelizos.com.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I cannot wait to read it and to find out more about your amazing work. Thank you so much. Is there anything else on your heart, from your soul, that you'd like to share with us before we close today?
Can I share? Yeah, would like to share something. I was just writing about it this morning, and it's like my favorite process to connect with our authenticity, to come into our presence, connect with our soul, because I feel that when we connect with our authenticity and our soul, that's when we truly know what we want to manifest. We connect with our purpose, we connect with who we are, and therefore we tune into ourselves, the authentic version of ourselves, so that we can choose desires that are aligned with that. And that practice is simple. I just like to close my eyes at several times during the day. I place one hand on my heart, I take a deep breath in, and I tell myself, wake up. And the intention is to wake up to my inner divinity, wake up to my inner presence, to my authenticity, because we're constantly surrounded by so much wisdom and guidance from the universe, but we miss it because we're lost in our mind. We're thinking about all the things that we have to do during the day. We're in the 3D world. But when we say wake up, we wake up our soul, we wake up to the 5-dimensional life around us, and we immediately start seeing things that are there that we didn't see previously. And that's how we can instantly, quickly connect with the essence of who we truly are.
So beautiful, so simple, and so powerful. George, thank you so much for blessing us with your presence and all the incredible information you have inside of your book. It truly is very special. I felt a really strong call to interview you because I knew you had something very special, quite unusual, and really important information to support us with these manifestation tools. So thank you once again for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so grateful.